Yo, what up, y'all? It's IntraVenus here, back with another PSP GEMS episode here on P.O.L. Game Review. Today, it's all about third-person shooters. And what that means is they're games that involve mostly shooting, but instead of the first-person perspective, it's third-person.
Like as if you were looking at me from back here. Right?
So, to start the episode out, let's go ahead and check out Agent 007. That's right, James Bond in From Russia with Love. Here we go. James Bond 007 From Russia with Love is a 2005 third-person shooter video game developed by EA Redwood Shores and published by Electronic Arts. The game is based on the 1963 film of the same name, but with several changes, including additional characters, locations, and a different villainous organization. Additionally, it features elements of later Bond films such as the Aston Martin DB5 that debuted in Goldfinger in 1964, and the jetpack from Thunderball, 1965. The game was released on the Nintendo GameCube, the Sony Playstation 2, the Microsoft Xbox, and the Sony Playstation Portable. From Russia with Love is notable in that it is the only video game to use Sean Connery's younger likeness as James Bond, and the first to include all new voice work by the actor after 22 years away from the role, marking his 8th and final performance as Bond across any medium before his death in 2020. Rest in peace. From Russia with Love is also the last James Bond video game developed or published by Electronic Arts before they lost the rights to Activision in 2006. The game received mixed or average reviews according to Metacritic, with the PSP actually receiving the lowest. Many points were given to the enhanced graphics and play difficulty. The Times gave it a score of 4 stars out of 5 and stated that it's enough to make you toss your trilby onto a hat rack in delight, whatever that means. However, Maxim gave it a score of 6 out of 10 and stated that though the game was challenging, it's also sometimes pedestrian, with a host of uninspired levels and dim bad guys ruining what could have been the triumphant return of 007. Within 3 months of its release, it had sold approximately 277,000 copies. What did y'all think about 007 From Russia with Love? I like this game a lot, and I actually had a really good experience myself playing it, though I do remember playing it originally when it came out on the PlayStation Portable from beginning to end in a single flight from Colorado to Florida in the United States. It's not that long a flight, and it does have replayability as there are some certain high scores and special goals to reach, but all in all, it was missing a lot of cutscenes, and basically the PlayStation 2 version is much more robust and my preferred way to play the game. As far as the PlayStation Portable is concerned, I actually had a really good time with this game, and I did not put it down from beginning to end until I beat it as well. to give you an idea of how much fun I was having. And this was at the time as well. So check out that game and tell me what you think in the comments for 007. It's the only James Bond game that I'm aware of on the PlayStation Portable. Alright, next up we're going to take a look at a Syphon filter game. There were at least 3 Syphon filter games on the original PlayStation console, and they were good games. I had a lot of fun with them, though I don't think I played all 3. I at least played the first one thoroughly. And this was the first one released on the PlayStation Portable. We're talking about Syphon Filter Dark Mirror. So let's check out some gameplay and I'll tell you some more. Syphon Filter Dark Mirror is a third-person shooter stealth video game developed by Bend Studio and published by Sony Entertainment for the PlayStation Portable and Sony Playstation 2. As with the trilogy, and unlike the previous game, the gameplay is a return to the series' roots. Players resume the role of Gabe Logan and occasionally Lian Zing, special operatives for a secret government agency. The non-linear, open-ended feel of the previous game has been reverted to the linear gameplay. Several types of weapons and vision modes are introduced. Players can now hide against walls and shoot around corners. However, the roll ability is noticeably absent. Syphon Filter Dark Mirror received generally positive reviews according to review aggregator Metacritic. It in fact scored a higher score on the PlayStation Portable than it did as its counterpart on the PlayStation 2. The PSP version scored an 87 out of 100 on Metacritic, while the PS2 version scored only 70 of 100. At SCEA Spring Gamers Day 2007, a sequel was announced for the PSP, Syphon Filter Logan's Shadow. It was released on October 2nd of 2007. That game will be talked about in the second part for our third-person shooters PSP GEMS. A port of Dark Mirror for the PlayStation 2 was released on September 18th, 2007 with updated graphics. Much mature content was removed, censoring much violence, swearing, alcohol, and frightening scenes. As a result, the ESRB rating of the PS2 version is teen instead of the mature rating that the PlayStation Portable version of the game got. And that right there probably describes most of the reason why PSP got an 87 out of 100 and the PS2 version only got a 70.
Search the area! Damn it! Clear.
Copy that.
How odd that they would remove a lot of the mature content from the portable version and make the home console version more kid-friendly. When back in the day it was mostly kids who were considered playing portable handheld devices, the PlayStation Portable revolutionized that in many ways, in my opinion. What do you think about Syphon Filter Dark Mirror. I think you should check it out. I had a good time with it. I think the gameplay was pretty intuitive, though the whole changing of different styles of visions with your visor, such as night vision and heat sensing, can feel a bit tedious. Overall, I think it's worth a go, and definitely one of the better third-person shooters on the PlayStation Portable. Alright, our third game today is one of my favorite games of all time on the PlayStation Portable, and that's partially because I picked it up when it first came out originally on my PSP 1000, and I played through it from beginning to end, and that is Resistance Retribution. This is a third-person perspective version and side story of a first-person perspective game series that is presented on the PlayStation 3. Yes, this game is not the best in graphics, nor does it follow the exact same gameplay style as its predecessors. I think that Resistance Retribution has a lot to offer. It's got a full-blown story, it's got great voice acting, I think it has very good and intuitive gameplay, and it's one of my favorite games of all time on the PSP. So let's check out some gameplay footage and I will tell you some more about Resistance Retribution on the PSP.
I had heard of Grayson, of course. Everyone had, leading up to those days before the fall of the London Tower.
Resistance Retribution is a third-person shooter video game developed by Bend Studio for Sony's PlayStation Portable exclusively. It was announced on July 15th, 2008 at Sony's E3 press conference and released on March 17th, 2009 in North America. Bend Studios said in an interview with GameSpot that they worked with Insomniac Games in the initial process of the game design. It is set between Resistance Fall of Man and Resistance 2, both on the PlayStation 3. Despite generally positive reviews and a decent fan base, Sony has discontinued online support for the game. Of course, as in this is 2022, but they did keep it going for a while, and I can tell you that I played a lot of the multiplayer that this game had to offer back in the day. The game offered 8-player online multiplayer death matches, team death matches, capture the flag, containment, free-for-all, and assimilation. The aiming system was designed differently. Instead of pressing buttons to lock against cover, it will automatically lock the player to cover when he or she goes near it. Resistance Retribution received generally favorable reviews according to the review aggregation website Metacritic. Game trailers praised the presentation and the gameplay and also awarded the game their best PSP game of 2009 title. GamePro reviewer Heather Bartron praised the game's cover mechanics for evading enemy fire and the game's well-placed checkpoints and level designs. Bartron wrote the game would appeal to both casual and experienced gamers, although she disliked the repetitiveness near the end and that most of the game's elements were left unchanged from the previous titles. In Japan, Famitsu gave it a score of all 4/8, making a total of 32 out of 40. A collector's edition of Resistance Retribution was released in Europe and included 4 concept art postcards and a promotional code to download an exclusive Resistance Retribution theme for your PlayStation Portable.
On my way. How badly are you hurt?
I'm fine. But Martin jumped in. He broke his leg up there on the 2nd floor. I need to reach him. Can you help me climb up there?
Which I can't say about a lot of my friends dropping from the sky right now.
Watch your tone, Private. You're in my army now.
Yeah, right. I forgot.
Under fire! Cover me, Grayson.
Go. I've got you covered.
Alright, so what do you all think about the Resistance game that came out on the PSP? I can tell you for one, I liked it a lot more than the PS Vita game that came out in the Resistance series, even though they did go back to the first-person perspective, and the console had plenty of power to do it right. They sort of did it wrong on the Vita. But we're talking about the PlayStation Portable, and I think the graphics barely hold up today. They're just good enough. There are games that look a lot better, but this plays really well, and though I have a lot of nostalgic value built up in here for this game, I think it is one of the best games on the PlayStation Portable that ever came out. Check out the third-person shooter Resistance Retribution on the PlayStation Portable. Next up, we're going to do another game that is a spin-off or side story from a popular or semi-popular game series franchise from the PlayStation 3, and that is Army of Two. This is Army of Two, the 40th Day. Let's check it out.
Coming in of extensive destruction in the downtown area of Shanghai. Authorities are currently refusing to confirm that this is an act of terror.
Army of Two, the 40th Day is a third-person shooter video game developed by EA Montreal and published by Electronic Arts for PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. The game was also released for the PlayStation Portable, which was developed by BuzzMonkey. It is the sequel to Army of Two. The 40th Day was released in January of 2010 worldwide. Army of Two, the 40th Day, focuses on two-player cooperative play and employs a cover system. It features Tyson Rios and Elliot Salem, the two protagonists from the original game, as combatant partners who, with the assistance of their handler Alice Murray, must fight to survive and prevail over invading forces that have engulfed Shanghai, China in a devastating terrorist attack. A sequel to the 40th Day entitled Army of Two, The Devil's Cartel, developed by EA Montreal and Visceral Games, was released on March 26 of 2013 for the PS3. While Army of Two, the 40th Day gained generally positive reviews, the PSP's version got the worst, and that's because they changed up the style from what you were used to on the PS3, and it didn't work out quite as well as Resistance Retribution did, though I actually had fun with this game and there's a lot of challenge to it. Army of Two, the 40th Day received mixed reviews from critics overall. Game rankings and Metacritic gave the Xbox and PS3 versions nearly identical scores of 73 and 74 out of 100, whereas the PlayStation Portable version only received a 49 out of 100.
Get your head down, Salem!
I played through the first Army of Two game on the PS3 with an old friend of mine, and we played it from beginning to end. It is a great couch co-op game, and I highly recommend it. And I actually own The Devil's Cartel, but my PS3 broke, and I need to get another one before I can actually experience it. But this game, as I said with the PS3 version, I think would be really fun with some cooperative play with a friend. I played this by myself, controlling both characters. You can tell your partner to stop and go and become aggressive or passive at will, and you make your way through this game similarly to maybe a 3D attempt at a Contra game. Anyways, I had a good time with it, and if you're into third-person shooters, check out the the 40th day on the PlayStation Portable. Alright, last but not least, we are going to do the top rated Battlefront game of all 3 Star Wars Battlefront games that were released on the PlayStation Portable, and that game is Star Wars Battlefront Renegade Squadron. And this is the second game released on the PSP in the Battlefront series. There was a sequel after it called Elite Squadron, but it received slightly lesser reviews. So I decided to go ahead and give you Renegade Squadron. Let's take a look. Star Wars Battlefront Renegade Squadron is a third-person shooter video game based on the Star Wars franchise. It is the third entry in the Star Wars Battlefront series and the first handheld exclusive. It was released on October 9th in 2007 in North America and later in Australia and Europe as a PlayStation Portable exclusive. Renegade Squadron was one of the first games available in a bundle pack with the newly released PSP redesign. The game's single-player campaign follows the Rebel Alliance Covert Ops Unit Renegade Squadron and depicts various battles throughout the Galactic Civil War from their perspective, starting from their formation by Han Solo prior to the Battle of Yavin and ending with the Battle of Endor, which marked the defeat of the Galactic Empire. The campaign is now part of the non-canon Star Wars Legends continuity. The game also features several types of multiplayer modes. In contrast with previous titles in this series that require characters to have a set class, players in Renegade Squadron are able to build their character as they see fit. Renegade Squadron received a mixed reaction from the video game community. The game was considered an improvement to its predecessor, which was Battlefront 2 on the PSP, and it was praised for its customization options and online play. But the single-player campaign was criticized for being brief and shallow. Opinions on the graphics were mixed, and the controls were generally described as inadequate. Critical reception of the game was mixed. And at the date and time of March 2009, it held a score of 73 out of 100 on the media aggregator site Metacritic, which indicates mixed or average reviews. Reviewers praised the game's customization options and multiplayer, and it was accepted that it was better than Battlefront 2. The game won the Reader's PSP Game of the Month award from IGN for October 2007, with one fan stating that the game was more Star Wars-like than its predecessor. It was the second best-selling PSP game in the US the week of its release, and was still among the list of GameFly's most rented PSP games lists in December of 2007. It continued to be a top seller in the US and UK several months after its release. The game was later re-released as a greatest hits title, indicating that it had sold at least 250,000 copies.
Got it. You guys are gonna have to retrieve the holocron. Transmitting coordinates now.
My name came up a lot of sounds, more when I was not around. Certain people that I know, they know what I'm about. My name came up a lot of sounds, more when I was not around. Certain people that I know, they ain't no longer about. My name came up a lot of sounds, more when I was not around. Certain people that I know, they ain't no longer about. My name came up a lot of sounds, more when I was not around. Certain people that I know, they ain't no longer about. Know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side. Know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side.
After playing through Star Wars Battlefront Renegade Squadron, I've come to realize that most of my prior experience to Battlefront on the PlayStation Portable was entirely on Battlefront 2, as I remember always being able to switch out between the first and third person perspective. This game and the following game, Elite Squadron, had removed the ability to go to that first person perspective, so they become third person games and control quite differently. I do agree that this one is more Star Wars like to an extent. The dog fighting is kind of odd, but at least they do give you the ability to autopilot once you lock on to your opponent. And that is our 5th game in the third-person shooters PSP GEMS episode. Have no fear, there will be more of these. And check the polls on my community tab on YouTube if you would like to vote and take part, because you chose the topic for this episode, and you'll choose the next one too. Thanks so much for sticking around till the end and this long. If you like what I'm doing and you like this video in general, please hit the like and subscribe buttons, as it really, really helps me out and it encourages me to do more videos and just... So, until next time, y'all, I'll catch ya.
We're out here lost.